Hello, caller. You are on the air. 812 area
Oh,
code. Hello.
what's going on, Eli? I just had a quick question for you. I was watching your
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, who's this actually?
Oh, my wife.
Who is this
Oh, this is
actually?
this is
Say that
Jonathan
again?
Hill. Jonathan Hill.
Oh, hey, what's going on, man?
So I had a question. So my wife, Katie Hill, she's been acting a little bit weird recently, and I was digging through her phone, and I saw some weird messages to some people, and I'm starting to think she's cheating on me. But I don't want to go out and just say it to her face, accuse her of that. But I'm pretty sure something fishy is going on. I don't really know what to do. So I was wondering if I could get your opinion on or advice on what I should do about it.
Ooh boy, can I jump in on this?
Yeah?
Do what?
Can I, Dynamite Rabbit here, can I jump in on this?
Go ahead, Dynamite.
Um,
You want to go in?
it was text messages were, and this was a couple of years back, but text messages were the first indication I got that my wife had gone full-on fly girl and that I was never going to get her back, no matter what I tried to do. And sometimes, text messages being typically brief and non-specific, it's not always easy to tell whether your wife has actually, acted on invitations from other men. And be careful about what county and state you're in, look up the law, because checking your wife's phone in some jurisdictions is actually now considered.
Oh, really?
It's actually considered stalking now to look in your wife's phone, even if you're paying the phone bill and
It's
bought the
ridiculous.
phone for her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She gave me her password to the phone a while back. But
Idiotic.
when she goes to work, sometimes she forgets her phone. So I kind of just
Yeah.
on her.
Well, here's what I would do. If she doesn't lock her phone, and I'm talking tactics here, and she's done something like what Eli was saying earlier about how, that story with the whole I'm with friends and oops didn't come back until 9:10 in the morning. What you can do is forward those text conversations to yourself and then dig back into her phone and delete the messages, not the messages that she has on her phone, but the messages between her phone and your phone that show the forwarding. That way you have the text on your phone and there's no record on her phone of them having been forwarded to your phone. Now, let me ask you this. Do you have any kind of phone tracking, GPS-based
Oh, yeah. I
phone?
track her all the time.
Okay, so here's what you do. This is one thing you can do, is you either by writing it down or recording emails or keeping text from her on your phone. Like if she tells you verbally that she's going somewhere, right? Like, oh, I'm going to go meet my friend so-and-so, and we're going to go to Olive Garden, and then we're going to go back to her place and play Yahtzee, right? If that's what she's telling you verbally, write that shit down with the date and time as soon as she leaves. You got to stay cool. Don't get emotional. Be objective, because your emotions will actually defeat you.
Do you think it's weird or too far for me to be looking into the stuff she does like that? Or because I started to follow her around whenever she goes to work. I kind of follow her.
You mean physically following her around in a car?
When you're done, guys, let me know. I'll share my thoughts too. But go ahead.
In most jurisdictions, except for the most old school jurisdictions, in most jurisdictions, what you're doing right now is considered stalking. If you're following her around and watching her, you need to stop because you can be arrested for it. I'm just looking out for you, brother. If you show up at a hotel room, park right next to her car and confront her in the parking lot, they will arrest you for stalking. Okay? It doesn't matter that she's fucking around with some other guy. What matters is that you forced a confrontation. You followed her around. If you have the money to do it, you hire a private investigator. and that's different. You know, if you have a 12 to 14.
That's okay though. Do you think if she found out that I had a private investigator, you think she'd be like, "What are you doing, Jonathan?" Like that's.
Oh yeah. She would definitely confront you. She would call you paranoid. She would say you're jealous. She would say you're controlling, you're overbearing, and you're an asshole. And then she would use that as a smokescreen to continue doing whatever she's doing while she has you knocked back on your heels. I'm listening to your story, and what I think would be better for you in this situation, if you're not ready to hire a private investigator to actually follow her, what you can do in the interim is you can use the GPS tracking on the phone, because as long as the power is on her phone, that's going to reveal to you the discrepancies in where she said she was going to be and where she actually is. And I have like 90 PowerPoint presentations that reflect the last year of my marriage that show that my wife told me she was going to be doing one thing and she did something different, and I was able to match up the dates and times on those on those GPS extracts, which you do a Control-Alt-Delete and Paint. I was using Microsoft Paint, and I would just get screen grabs of the GPS results that came off of tracking her. And what I found, what I was able to do was I put together like 90 or more files showing that she told me she was going to be doing this. She went here instead, and at this hour she was there, and she was at some nightclub pickup joint at 2 a.m, and until 11 a.m, she was at a Days Inn in a town she told me in a town she never even mentioned she'd be in. My advice would be initially to go electronic, track her, especially if she doesn't think she's being tracked. If she doesn't think you're looking in, she'll keep her phone on. And that phone's going to reveal hour by hour everywhere she's been. And to the extent that does not jive with what she told you she'd be doing, you begin to document what's going on. And so you're married, you're vulnerable.
I understand what you're saying. I just kind of want to see if Coach Eli could chime in on this and see what he thinks about it, because I'm just curious what he's thinking.
Well, yeah. What I think is, first of all, okay, so you both are married, you said, right?
Yeah, we've been married for about 3 months now. And
3 months.
I actually think I know who she might be messing around with, because I have a really good friend, Gregory, and I looked on her phone, and there were some really intimate text messages, and I asked her about it, and she said that it was they're just doing it because they're really close. They're friends.
Okay.
It was just because they're friends. I don't think it's okay at all.
How old are you, and how old is she? If not too personal, that'll help out.
So,
how old are you?
I'm 22. I'm 22, and she's 24.
22 and 24. You two are really, really young. Now, if we look back into the into the days like the 40s, for the modern world, you guys got married really young. Now, if we look back to the 50s and 60s and 70s when our parents were getting married, they were getting married at that age or younger. But nowadays, that's pretty fucking young, and people don't really mature or learn enough to know what to do at this age. In my honest opinion, dude, I mean, I agree with most of what Dynamite Rabbit said, but in all honesty, dude, if you think she's cheating on you, if you feel it in your heart as a man that she's cheating on you, you need to confront her on it. And of course you should have some evidence, and those text messages are, in my opinion, are enough evidence to sit her down and say, you know what, I'm not buying this shit. You need to stop doing that, or this marriage is not going to work. You got to stand up for yourself and be a man, and you got to be the leader. Because I'll tell you why she's playing on you. Can I be honest with you? Why I think she's playing on you?
I'm just afraid to confront her. I think that she'll get mad at me and say you're being weird, and that she.
Yeah, you're jealous and you're paranoid.
No,
those are
guys.
the two things she's going to hit you with.
She's going to hit you with that. But here's the thing. The reason why she's hitting you with that, hear me out on this, is because she's testing your strength as a man. And when you don't stand up to her tests, and that's what women do. My woman does this to me all the time, but I call her out on it all the fucking time. Next thing you know, she's all over me, kissing me, making out, and we're going to dinner and doing all this shit because I'm being man enough to stand up to her, dude. You got to stand up to her.
I have an important point to make, actually. I probably should tell you about this. So, in my religion, I'm a Buddhist. She doesn't have a religion. She's an atheist. So in my religion, I don't believe in having sex or during marriage or any of it. So I've never had sex or anything like that with her. I've never been intimate with her. I've never done anything with her since I've been with her. And I'm starting to feel like she's not getting those needs met, and she's going somewhere else. That's what I'm starting to suspect.
Well, that's likely. Yeah, you're
all
probably right.
All right. I just actually muted that call because